Howdy, folks. Howie Cat here with what I call Terra sweet potato sea salt. And there, it's a potato chip type thing. I guess it's supposed to be slightly more healthful. I don't know. Real vegetable chips as opposed to others that are real vegetables. Potatoes are a vegetable, but hey, whatever. Give this a try. I'm joined by Archie. I see he saw the bag, and he thinks we're going to do an Archie taste test. He's right here, just out of camera, of course, because he wants to be next to the food, but not in the camera light. But you know, we'll look at him later. Maybe do another taste for him. He's got some. Anyways, that's beside the point. Let's get this open and give it a try. It's kind of a thing, so I'm going to switch this camera and do it that way. Okay, let's get it open and give them a try here. It is in a air-sealed bag. To tell that there's no way there's been anything done to these. There's a point to that, but I'll tell you that later. Oh, they smell kind of good. Grab a nice sweet potato chip. It's okay. Got a sweetness to it. A little bit of salt. Very thick, very hard to chew. Not like the rest, I won't be getting these again. All right, let me explain why. During this Christmas season, I'm doing a non-Christmas item. Normally wouldn't do this one. I would save this for another time of the year or whatever. I want to do a bunch of Christmas stuff right now. There's a reason behind this. I'll let you know in 1 second. So I got those chips because of this video George Senda made. The things I sent him a bag of chips. Now I can understand several reasons why George would be upset. He claims he is kind of allergic to sweet potato, and I made him sweet potato chips. But honestly, the uncooked, the sweet potato allergies are rare, and it's really to uncooked sweet potato that most people have an actual sweet potato allergy to. That is super rare, and something he would have to be so concerned with. It's the level of like peanut allergies, where you know if you're super allergic to peanuts, and you can't even go on an airplane that has peanuts because the dust can get in the air, and you're for a severe allergy like that, it's hyper allergic, and you know about it. I mean, you see the crap George shovels in. He's not focusing to make sure there's no slight traces of sweet potato in his food. My dad has a fish allergy, and he has to actually check. He can't even go to a restaurant. Like if he wouldn't even go to a sushi restaurant because that knife that cut fish might also be a knife that cut something else. Even if you get a roll that's all vegetable roll, because the knife was used, and the oil would be on it, and he can get very, very bad reactions. So he has to look at all the ingredients and everything. George doesn't do that. So he doesn't have a severe allergy. So it was just kind of a funny, cheap thing to do. I mean, I could see also him getting mad because it's one bag of chips. Who gives one bag of chips for a Christmas present? What a cheap bastard. You know, and he did get really upset with someone who sent him a gas card that had $7.38 or some amount like that on it. It was just pissed at them. It was a cheap gift. Don't give him a cheap gift. George only deserves good. You know, as YouTube creators, we don't deserve anything from you guys. Anything, if you give me $1, I would be so thrilled because you don't have to do anything. Just watch. I mean, that's all I ever ask is you watch, subscribe, like or dislike, and maybe comment. And if anyone were to give someone something, that's just a gift. It's just nice. doesn't make sense to me to complain about it being not enough. But George is a greedy bastard, and that's what this is all about. So let's watch this for a minute, and then we'll see where I'm really getting into, which is explaining how George is snickering, snuckering? He's got a sucker on the line. She seems like a perfectly lovely lady. I don't want her to think I'm insulting her, but she is getting played. But let's go first and watch this.
And only the guy from Pittsburgh.
And I am Raleigh Squirrel.
Well,
I hadn't said that. So here's
3 things in the mail, but one of them was from the evil Raleigh Squirrel.
the evil Raleigh Squirrel.
The Raleigh Squirrel. I took the gift. I opened the box after checking to see it was not a bomb.
Yes, I'm going to send a bomb with my return address on it. Oh, wait.
Nice try.
What did you do?
Glitter bomb, whatever, and I gave it to the postal worker.
Oh, look, here's his smug smile. Oh, he's so proud. He caught the bag of chips and he gave them to the postal worker. Smug smile. Big deal. I don't know what I was expecting him to do with a bag of chips. I just felt like sending it because it might at least have some fun with it. It was not a... It's not one of... I have pranked George. I'll admit it. I pranked George. I pranked George a lot in the years past. I actually hadn't pranked him in over a year. The last thing I sent him was the Target gift card, pretty well-known prank. And before that was over a year before that. So it's not like I, inundate this guy's life. Once a year, come up with a prank. And that was this year's, and it sucked. I know. It was not a fun one. It was not a clever one. This is one I thought of in the last minute and said, I feel like I needed, I just bothered. I just had to do it. I get that way sometimes. There's something I just have to do. Like I just had to go win that squishy at Circus, if you see that video. I don't know why I'd seen them, and I just had to get back and win one just because I thought it would be fun to make that video. That's totally off track. Anyhow, when we look at the comments here, we're going to see some. There's this one gal. We get an impression of, so happy. And then this young lady who seems very pleasant and very kind. And that's a problem. When you're very kind and you fall under George's spell, maybe? He gets people like this. And as for the dark-minded simpleton who gets dark enjoyment out of sending this kind man a bunch of nonsense in the mail, shame on you. Well, I don't send him a bunch of nonsense. Once a year, I might send something. That's not really a bunch of nonsense. Why don't you try being nice to people for a change? There's a New Year's resolution for you. Well, I don't make New Year's resolutions. I feel if I'm going to make a change, I make it. A date on the calendar means nothing to me, and it doesn't cost a cent, and you'll find your life will be rich with happiness if you took the time out to lift people's spirits and be kind to them instead of acting like a creep for your dark entertainment. Go crawl under the bridge where you belong. Troll, and then she ruins it all with a lol because... Is she joking? Did she think it was funny? Lols are some of the stupidest things I've ever seen. So anyhow, yeah, okay, I'm a horrible, terrible person that doesn't do anything nice. It's probably true. But more of the story is, how did George get this new one? Well, unfortunately, she deleted everything, made a video about George. Now, she has had her own issues with George in the past. Why she made this video without mentioning them is beyond me. I'm going to personally say it was irresponsible. And she does. She made a fine video. Nothing wrong with the video for the most part. And she talks about how George had an alien hat and she has an alien hat. And that's funny because a lot of their things and times do run parallel. George had a fire in his kitchen. She had a fire in her kitchen almost at the same time. I mean, a lot of things. And it is amusing. And she tells people to check out George, which is fine. Check out George Senda. I'm subscribed to George Senda. I'll tell you, check out George Senda. Watch his videos. They're weirdly funny. Um, I get, he cracks me up. Not because he wants to, because he just does some of the doofiest things I've ever seen sometimes. And I've made some videos about him. I don't make a lot anymore because that's not what I want to be about. But sometimes I see something I want to be preemptive for other people. I fear that this, because what happened is I saw when I first met her, Erin, she was a George supporter on this board called LGAB. And she would give him money all the time. I said, don't do that, and here's why. And I talk about his past, which I'll show you something from it. And she said, no, you don't know what you're talking about. You're just mean. You're mean. And I was always, and so I know I'm a mean person. If Dari's going to tell me I'm mean. That's how it is. Because you don't want to be wrong. People don't want to be wrong. But what bothered me here was, and she talked about things that she had given him in the past, gifts, and she talked glowingly, and she didn't say anything about him when she turned on him. When she gave him enough money to cover his cable bill, because he needed to switch internet providers. He needed to. And he needed like $150 to switch internet providers. So she gave that to him. And about 2 weeks later, he was saying he needed $150 to switch internet providers. Same time, he was doing his unboxing videos, which he loves to do, and showing off all this worthless crap that he bought. I forget what there was. Like a drone the size of a dime. I mean, it was just crap. He spent $150 on this garbage. Not even cat food. So he'll tell people, he needs cat food, and he almost has I think it's the California lottery system with him with cat food. So basically, the California lottery said all the money we get will go to the school. So people thought they were giving the schools extra money, which would be great. The problem is, if the lottery took in $1 million, the school's budget got cut by $1 million. And with George, you'll see him say that, he needs 50 cans of cat food. Well, in his mind, when he gets these in, that's 50 cans he doesn't have to buy, so he can use, in quote, his own money to buy an alien mug that he needs or something else that he doesn't need, but he needs. So in reality, you're not helping out the cats with extra food. You're supplementing what he was going to do. And so he can use his money on crap. And George has got, he has an obsession with feeding these cats every day. Something doesn't need to be done, something that shouldn't be done, unless they've all been captured and neutered. And I don't believe they all have. If they have, fine, do whatever you want. But otherwise, you don't want to make strong, happy kitties that have perfectly fertile cats going out making more stray cats. That's the worst thing a person can do. So anyways, with her, and she, George spent all the money there. Another time, well, sadly, it was right after her father passed. And I don't know the order of these, but George wrote her saying, I need money. And I'm sure this gal that is on the hook now has gotten the same email. It's been a couple weeks. She's gotten it. I have no doubt in my mind. An email saying, I need money. I need to pay my PG&E or something like that. And she said, I can't deal with that now. My father died. And George's reaction was, oh, okay, I'll get back to you in a month then. Which is just cold and disgusting. And it's George. That's George. Another time even he needed money. Always needs money for something. Lost his rent check this month or whatever. And he about once a year he loses his rent check, and that's a big scramble, and all these things are big scrambles. And he had to reach her. And he called her work because he knew the company she worked for. Not where she worked or what department, but it's a big telecommunications company. Just called one of the offices. And he started calling more. He called the 800 number. He kept calling and kept calling. And eventually he got through to her office and her boss. And apparently she was working at home at that point and not in the office, but got to people who knew who she was and her boss, where he was desperately needed to get a hold of her. I mean, that's how far he'll go into your personal life to get that money once he's got you on the line. So let's a little more here. We have mail time, talk, and donations. And I forget if there's anything in here worth it except for the comments. But he's making demands. Give me money. He's demanding money. So let's look at the comments here. We've got this. You tell him, George. And here's from the new person who... I know you're going to give him more. You shouldn't. But you don't want to be wrong. So you're going to do it. It's how it is. And you're going to call me mean. I'm a troll. I'm an asshole. I get it. This video is not for you. This video is for someone else that neither of us know, that has seen something about George and is thinking about giving him a lot of money. That's who this video is for. You're going to have to get burned a couple more times, I feel. You know, that's just how it always is. Unless you can believe this, you won't believe this. Nobody does. And it's not you, it's human nature. You know, like I said, no one wants to be wrong. So you're going to prove me wrong by giving him something. That's how it always has been for 15 years. Yeah, I've known George for almost 15 years. And I've been seeing him do this sort of shit to people for 15 years. So, oh my, he checked me out for a king-size surprise. Merry Christmas. And apparently she had given him $50 through his PayPal. And here he says, you know, looks like it was a big card. And he won't tell the donation, but it's so much. And then, of course, the next few weeks, we saw him opening so many Amazon packages. And thanks again, you'll see. Now, what is it? I'm so happy to get this and cannot thank you enough. I will ask you to mail me a physical gift card, should you be so generous again, because the evil trolls hate it when anyone sends me gift cards, and I want to make their day. See, he wants to rub it in her face, but he's not saying if you send me another. He is saying when you send me another. He's telling her he needs more. He's not hinting very well. I mean, it's not just a, oh, if, you know, and of course he creates this poor prosecuted little Georgie. You know, we're so mean to him and we hurt him so much and we ruin his life. And I heard someone who sent him some bricks. What they were they took some bricks and they painted them and they decorated them up. And I think he was having trouble at the time with a door, keeping it open. There was a slight breeze, and they said this will make a nice doorstop. They had no money, but they made these bricks and covered them in glitter and little pieces of artwork. And he was upset. He was upset because it wasn't money. He was upset it wasn't something he asked for. It was something they thought he needed, and he was mad about it. And he said, oh, these will kill my cat. They're not going to kill his cat. I have a cat that plays with Legos all the time. He loves little Lego pieces. They're not going to swallow them. They're not stupid. But he was upset about that. And so that supposedly is one of the other horror. He'll just throw out things, you know. So, you know, and he makes it seem like he's just inundated with crap so that he can get good stuff from other people send him. And then, thanks again, see what I purchased in the future Burgon Body. Oh, and then I wonder if the trolls would explode if someone ever sent me like $1,000, $2,000, or $3,000 Amazon gift card. Yeah, that's a pretty subtle hint, George. You're such a begging little asshole. And then more, and they talk, and it's, yes, I'll send you future gift cards in the future. It's like, don't do it. I'll do it. It's your money. You'll learn on your own. But someone else out there watching, I hope you preemptively learn. And then we have this famous moment. Now, George, like I said, I've known him from another board. He was always on that board. He was always looking for money. He's always looking for people to give him money wherever he goes. That's his goal in life, is to be handed money. And he would complain that he has no food and he's starving to death. And he would say, oh, and my PG&E bill is going to go out, and my this is going to go out, and I need help. Can you say? And he would actually post his address, post his own phone number, post his address. And here's a story from one of the gals that realized she was near him. And so she went to Safeway, and she bought 2 bags of groceries because he had said he was hungry. And she bought him groceries. Her name was Kylie Jordan, is what she posted as the posting name. I don't know what her real name is. I know that's not her real name, because I was friendly with her and talked to her. I did know her real name, but I don't remember. It was years ago, and I didn't keep in touch. And we can read what he says, but we can also listen to him. I couldn't pay my PG&E bill. Someone else. Okay. He says these are actually 2 different people. He's confusing them. One gal mailed him a $100 loan. He insisted it was a gift, and someone else brought him the food. This is not, and this is something that George just sent out. He would send these out to his mailing lists.
That never happened. Look, I got 2 bits of money, maybe 3, and I don't remember the third who it was. I got $100 from Diane as a gift. I was desperately ill with the sinus infection I had. I couldn't pay my PG&E bill, so she mailed me $100. Then she showed up here one day with that may have been who I got mad at. She showed up here with a bag of groceries.
It was Kylie Jordan.
I can't pay my bills. I have food. I need money. And I don't think I was being unreasonable when I said that. And
wait a minute. Maureen is, she showed up here with a bag of groceries, and I said, he did get mad. He says he got mad. I said, I can't pay my bills. I have food. I need money. And I don't think I was being unreasonable when I said that. Yeah, you are being unreasonable, George. They showed up with food. That's the nice thing. You don't turn them away and say bring money. That's what he does. He's done it. He's going to do it again. I see this happening. I know this poor gal is going to get nailed. He's going to just he's going to go until he bugs her. These emails are going to come weekly, daily perhaps. I mean, this guy is relentless when he gets one of you on the line. And just watch it. That's all I can say. You'll eventually say I'm right. Tonight you're going to say I'm wrong. Maybe in about a month. Maybe it'll be a year. But you're going to look back and go, holy crap, I just gave him that, and he never uses it for what he says he needs. Just watch it. It's just... And if that's not nice, if that's not me being nice to people, trying to keep them from getting suckered by a con man, then I don't know. Well, have a good day, folks. As a George, I know you love those, so I'll try and maybe do another sometime. I don't know. It's not my... I feel kind of bad because the people who do fall for George at the moment believe it, and they hate hearing it. And I almost don't want to do this. I almost love it, but just because I know I help other people. I've I may have insulted and really irked one gal. I may have saved one. I may have saved 20. Yeah, I probably saved one. But I saved one. I'm happy with that. So, okay. Thanks.